Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
And we're from Britain. What's going on, buddy?
I'm surprised you didn't say Scotland.
Scotland, yes.
Scotland.
Well, my dad was born there.
I know. That's why I'm saying it. So
Scottish crap.
We're on episode 59.
59.
And the world, nothing has happened in the last week, eh? It's been pretty quiet. Nothing's going on. Nothing's changed.
No, pretty much just status quo.
Oh my God. Yeah, status quo. So everything we said last time, I think, got out of date, then back into date, and out of date again. And it's become even more confusing now.
Oh, were you being sarcastic, Carl?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. So thoughts have changed then.
Oh my God. So if people have been like under a rock somewhere, we've had tariffs threatened on us for Saturday, threatened on us for Tuesday, pulled away, so now it's 30 days away. And then it turns out this is like weird origin thing for crossing the border for our products now that no one had any idea was coming down the line, including Canada Post and all the reshippers. It's crazy. So do you want to get into that, or do you just want to get into how your week was first? Should we start with good stuff, or positive, or negative?
Well, we can start with the week first, because that's kind of how we always did it. Or it don't really matter to me. I really don't have a lot to add to it from last week myself. I know you have a few things. I'm just kind of going to keep going the way I've been going myself. So
I would love to be able to keep going the way it was going, but the world itself seems to be conspiring against us a little bit.
Yeah.
So the big change... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
So the big change is, like I said, tariffs were going on. Then they were extended till Tuesday. And then they've been moved a month. So, but the big thing that happened, and this wasn't as widely publicized, is now when you're sending stuff to the United States, they want to know where the products were made. And that existed before this date, right? And the big issue is if it's from China, they're putting tariffs on it. And they don't care if it's used. They don't care if it's new. They care about where it's made. And they cared about that before. But it turns out, like when you would send things through Canada Post, they always said it was always made in Canada as default. And so it always went through. But now we've been hearing from reshippers that they're getting their stuff turned away at the border if you don't properly put down the origin. And this is just from last night. This isn't
you reshippers or resellers?
Reshippers. So like Chit Chats, Stallion Express, I think it's called DYK out west. All these companies that basically for Canadians take our parcels and take them across the border and ship them. And
yeah, but we don't know what they're like. Does Chit Chats do just eBay guys, or do they do big bulk containers and everything?
They do whoever pays them.
Okay, so who knows?
But generally they go for smaller sellers. They're not. But I don't actually know. Like maybe
who knows? They might do like huge truckloads for businesses and stuff like that, right? So let's say if there's a parts manufacturer and they're getting their steel from China, like does that have to be disclosed? And is that what they're kind of talking about? Because I can't really see they're going to be concerned if I sell a King and Country toy soldier.
Well, they are. That's
for
$100. It's not just those. It's also Canada Post. It's everyone it's not just these companies. It's also Canada Post.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be like over a certain amount or something. Like I just can't see.
No, that's the problem.
There's going to be thousands every day of parcels, or
I agree with
hundreds
that.
of thousands.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and like we've been so embedded with Chinese goods and items since the 90s.
At
right?
least, yeah. Yeah,
So like everything's from China, so it doesn't make any
exactly.
sense. Like
It's no,
it
this is not
doesn't make it doesn't just not make sense. Like it doesn't make practical reselling like sense to go after that. Like
no, it
I
doesn't
think
make
what they
any
might be
sense.
going after is in my opinion, and I know you're going to say you read it differently, but I just don't see how they could really enforce it, or they're just going to have to stop all shipments. Because like, what if a piece of paper is made in China? Your
Uh,
envelopes are made in China. Your
exactly.
packages and
It's insane.
cardboard boxes.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane.
Yeah.
So,
So
but it's the truth. It's not. This is not me speculating on this. This has happened.
yeah,
So the
I
question is, how are they going to? Just like you said, like I was on Two Dogs Digs last night, and we were talking about live,
yeah
and I was saying that the amount of stuff that comes through is insane from Canada and all these and China and those other places, right? And let's just talk about Canada because that's what we really care about, right? And they just can't, if there's no minimum de minimis anymore, right? If they don't care if it's $0, the amount of bureaucracy that's needed is going to be insane,
yeah.
right?
I'm not worried about it. I'm not
Well,
gonna
we'll see what
until
happens because
like
they've done it. This is not a what if. This is it happened,
well,
right?
I've not heard one eBay reseller talk about it.
Well, it just happened last night.
Oh, okay, so
It's not even been a day yet.
yeah. So
So
until it affects me, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I'm not saying you're
right.
wrong or this isn't an issue, but I just haven't seen it. So because it's just happened, so I'm just going to I appreciate the info and the knowledge of what could happen, but I'm not going to change what I do.
Yeah, but to be clear, it's not what could happen, it's what happened. This is not speculation. This is happened. So what I'm going to do is find out today because unfortunately for the show I haven't gone to Canada Post yet or anywhere, right? And all these companies are scrambling to fix this because a lot of these companies don't even give you the option of saying where something was made when you buy the labels.
Yeah, but they also make speed limits at 80 kilometers an hour here in Canada, and everybody drives 100. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just say if it's what we're doing, I think there's got to be leeway because they're going to end up missing the bigger picture, the bigger items if they get bogged down with the little items.
Oh, I agree. I
So
agree. It's completely illogical. I completely agree with you.
yeah, so I
Right?
don't
But
think
that
it's going to work. So I'm just going to
I
just
think
keep
so
doing what
too.
I'm doing. So
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I think like after a week, they're going to update the rules.
yeah,
I'm just saying what the rules are of last night.
yeah,
It's that fresh. And that's what's so frustrating about all of this stuff is like if I say on here what's happening right now and someone listens to it, it could be completely different on Friday when this comes out. Because I agree. Like with all these packages are going through, if you're going to it's not just the tariffs. It's the brokerage fees, right? Because I know you say you don't buy a lot, but when you buy stuff
I
from
don't buy anything.
you don't buy anything. So when you
Just
buy
Amazon.
from the United States now as a
Yeah,
Canadian, and let's say it doesn't, I know it's $100 thing, right? You owe duties on that, but it's not just the duties. If you use UPS, DHL, not Pure Later, whatever these big FedEx, and they bring it across the border, right? It's not just the duties that you have to pay; it's also the brokerage fees, which is a flat rate per parcel. And that can be like $15, $20, $25, right? And they're going to have brokerage fees going the other way. It's going to be a huge mess. So honestly, like when I was talking about last night, it's like this might be the rule right now, but it's going to cause huge backlogs at the border. And it's also just not practical, right? So I think it's going to change. I'm just saying what the rules are right now is you have to put the origin of your parcel. It doesn't matter if it's used. It doesn't matter if it's new. It doesn't matter if it's old or made yesterday. It's all being treated the same.
so when I was in college, so we're looking at 94, 94ish. My second, it was a 2 year program. My second year I got a job at Canada Customs for postal incoming postal service stuff.
Yeah.
Um the amount of packages that come through then, before eBay or anything, this is 1994. The amount of packages that came through there is incredible.
It's
Like,
insane. Yeah.
it's insane. So,
I think it's like 1,000,000 a day or something crazy.
dude, there's two guys with a roller, and they roll across it like, I don't know what the message said, like Canada Customs approved or something, but and you have to hit all these packages. They'd have two or three guys just sitting there rolling every package that they could get on, and it just comes down this conveyor.
And they're
And
not
every now
checking
and
it.
and then you'd have other people with little stations and the computers and stuff, and you would grab a package, scan it, the information would come up because or the guys doing the rollers would grab the package that they felt like maybe it came from a country that is known to bring in steroids, or like from Germany or marijuana or whatever the situation was. They would put it on a cart, and then the people at the computer would go grab that and then look through it, right? So, but the amount of stuff that was coming through there is so crazy, like it's insane, right?
Yeah. And
So,
that, yeah.
so it was. I don't know. Without getting too much into it, it's just like I don't think that's even possible. Like I just
It is impossible. Like even for
yeah
Canada right now, if you're like, this is the reason Canadians want the Americans to use USPS, because if it uses USPS, in my experience, and it gets to the border and they hand it off to Canada Post from USPS, there's a good chance you'll get it without duties. Not all the time. Sometimes you get stung, but they just have so much that they're not looking through every single package.
yeah yeah
But if someone sends a package from the United States to Canada using UPS or FedEx, I've always gotten stung for duties and that brokerage fee, which can be $25, right?
yeah
And it's because I think they're playing by the rules that someone else has said, and they have to. So
yeah because
the inverse,
they probably get fined or something
they
for
get a big shit. Yeah.
yeah
So I think the inverse is true too. Is my guess is that if you use Canada Post and it gets the United States Postal Service, I think it's a much bigger chance of it just going through. But if you're using FedEx, UPS, these reshippers like Chit Chats, Stallion, they're going to follow the rules a lot better because they don't want to get banned. Because if
yeah.
they get banned, their business is over, right?
Like I'm personally not overly concerned because I don't really sell like other than the toy soldiers, everything is Canadian or most of it's probably made in the U.S. to begin with. A lot of it could be Germany, but a lot of it is vintage and antiques, right? So mine was pre the China days, but I mean, plastic toys, that kind of stuff, they're probably going to be China or Taiwan or something.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of that stuff. So
Yeah,
for me and for a lot of people listening, they are
a
highly
lot of
affected by
Hong
this.
Kong. So
Hong
Taiwan
Kong,
wouldn't probably be an issue, but Hong Kong probably would.
Hong Kong definitely is. They mentioned Hong Kong specifically.
Okay.
So, and the other crazy thing, and
Like I
this,
mean, all those Star Wars figures were pretty much made in Hong Kong, right? The
yeah,
early ones.
they're all included. Yeah,
Yeah,
like to me, it's not sustainable, right?
yeah.
There's a
So just put.
reason.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
There's a reason we have de minimis, right? Like to the United States, $800 because they don't want to deal with all this stuff. Because you imagine sending something there for $10, and there's like a 25% tariff, so that's $2.50, and then a flat fee on top of that of $25. Like if it went through UPS or FedEx or whatever, it doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense,
yeah,
right? That's why one of the reasons they have that. And to take it off completely now for Chinese goods, it's crazy. But we say this is not logical, but there's been a lot of illogical things happening. So this changed this other thing we talked about pre-show, but I'm gonna mention here because it changed so fast that it was different when I went to check myself. So last night, USPS stopped accepting all packages from China, which is huge amounts, right? I don't even know how much is going into the United States from USPS. Stopped all packages. Can you imagine the chaos of the border last night of that? And when I checked this morning, like an hour ago, they're allowing packages in again. So that's how fluid the situation is. And how, you know, one thing business hates is uncertainty, and we are definitely in uncertain times. So, whoosh.
Well, I mean, it gets political when you start going down the rabbit hole, but you know, there's been a lot of past practices that's trying to be, and I'm not I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know what the right answer is, but I think there is some changes that need to be done throughout. I don't know. I'm obviously America, but I think our country as well. What the right approach to that is, I don't know. Right. So,
Yeah. But
um,
unfortunately, what's happening now, we can't ignore. We can't pretend it's not happening.
but
And
but but in reality, nothing is happening. It's a lot of things are happening, but nothing really has. We'll see if this affects us or not, but
yeah, this
nothing
is
has
just going to say,
really
you can
affected
say
us.
that, but we haven't had to ship anything since last night.
Well, what I'm saying is there's tension or uncertainty in the air, but on the practical what we're doing side, and I know a lot of people are going to say blah, 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 blah. But honestly, there was a threat of tariffs, but they haven't come across yet. I mean, it got a lot closer to happening than I expected it would ever get to. But is that by design, by plan? I don't know. I don't know. But these Chinese goods coming in, and then all of a sudden that's gone. So that it might have put a bump in there for 12 hours, from the time threatened and then stopped. But at the end of the day, like we're kind of running the same way. You know what I mean? It's just in the back of our mind, we got all these
Well, not for me.
possibilities.
Not for me. Because I'm sending something today, a toy that was made in China today.
Yeah. And I
It,
guarantee you, nothing will happen. You'll send it out the same way, and
well, I know you're saying that,
I
and I wanted.
guarantee you,
What are you going to do if you're wrong?
I
Like,
will. How much is the product worth?
how much are you going to eat
How
that?
much is the
That
product worth?
$5,000,
Okay. So how much is it really worth?
15 American.
Okay. I will pay you the $15 plus the shipping on that.
Wow.
Should you lose should there be an incident where it doesn't go through unharmed,
I hope to
unaffected.
God that you're right. I'm talking like facts from last night that were from all the companies. So I don't think they would freak out their customers for no reason.
Like I just don't think they're going to be concerned over a $15 item and miss that $100,000 shipment or $1 million shipment
And I'm saying it
or
doesn't make sense.
$50 million shipment.
I,
You know
I
what I
I
mean?
agree with you. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm just saying what's happening. It doesn't matter what we make. Logic isn't into this at this point. This is
I don't know.
very
I don't know.
damaging. We'll find out. I wish I could say I went and found out for the show, but I haven't. So maybe I'll put a comment in the bottom of this. Well, it'll be too late by Friday, anyways. Who knows? I'm just saying the other issue that could occur is there could be delays at the border because if what I've said and what these companies are telling us is happening, there's going to be all these packages stuck as they try and collect tariffs off of these packages, right?
Yeah,
That
but
could
that's
slow
going to
things
be
down
correct
too.
too because, dude, the facilities can only take on so much. So if you keep dumping packages in, they can't handle it. So
Well, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
even
Yeah,
that's going to actually even be worse
yeah,
for letting stuff in because what happens is when you get bombarded, then all of a sudden to clear that out, you let
yeah,
everything through without being
yeah.
looked at.
That's why I'm
So
freaking
that
out.
doesn't even make sense either for them to do that. So
No, it makes no sense.
I think I
No.
think on a practical, realistic kind of thought process, I'm going to say we won't be affected at all. If you get, and
No.
honestly, if I have one parcel a month or five parcels a year affected, I'm going to count myself as like, okay, that's fine.
Well, I applaud your confidence?
Well,
Because
I,
I'm not making this stuff up.
I'm not saying you're making it up at all. I'm just saying like it doesn't compute as a
And you keep
pot
saying it
as
doesn't make logical sense, and I agree it doesn't make logical sense. I'm just saying what's
right.
happening.
It's
Like,
like it's like trying to go to the waterfall with a strainer to
yeah, but
bring
you're
water back to the camp.
right. Yeah, exactly. But
You,
that's what they're doing. It's like I'm not making this up. It's what they said they're doing,
I
and
don't
it's
know.
what the resellers. Like I understand what you're saying. It doesn't make any. It's stupid. It doesn't make logical sense, and I agree with you. But they're still doing it, right? It's
Well,
like the packages
doing
last
it
night
in
when USPS said they're stopping all Chinese packages, just like that. That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Insane.
But
But but
like
but why would they do that? But 24 hours later, not even 24 hours, they've reversed that. But they did stop packages for 12 hours or whatever it
yeah,
was.
and
It's
it's
crazy.
the little tit for tat that's going back and forth.
Well,
You
a lot
know,
of tatting, not so much
well,
kidding.
it's
Whichever way, this sucks.
yeah.
And we have a
Well, I
30-day
mean, I haven't
reprieve.
had anything that sucked yet. Like everything has been going normal.
Yeah, but like I
Every
said, it only happened last night. There hasn't been enough time for the shit to hit the fan.
okay, okay. So I'm not going to stress over things that haven't happened yet.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you haven't experienced yet. It's happened. You just haven't experienced it.
like I, if I don't experience it, it hasn't happened.
I
You know,
know. I'm getting that impression.
yeah. So
Oh, you're
I
frozen.
think I just kind of have to
Oh, yeah.
go with the flow. Like even when Canada Post went on strike, I didn't shut my store down or anything. I just found a different alternative, which sucked. But you go through the motions and you just keep trucking along.
Well,
You know,
Canada Post was so much less than this because when Canada Post went down,
no,
right?
but it
You
was
could
still
still.
at the time everybody like Canada Post was more than this. If this thing doesn't really affect us, because Canada Post definitely affected us,
Yeah,
and
but
this
it
one might
happened
have.
last night. You keep saying it hasn't affected you because it hasn't. You haven't had to ship yet.
Well, but you've also agreed with me that it might not be a practical thing that can even
Oh,
happen. So,
yeah, but it
so
still happened. I can't emphasize that enough. This is not speculation,
okay. But what I'm saying,
right?
it's happened on paper, but it hasn't happened in practicality.
No, it has happened in practicality. The
Hasn't.
shipments got turned around, and all the companies put out news bulletins about this.
Okay, but
They
I'm
wouldn't
not
just make that up.
shipping. I'm not shipping anything but small little items, and probably other than the toy soldiers, everything I'm shipping wouldn't be in that group anyway. So what do I
Those are
care?
not going to be a problem.
What's that?
Those won't be a problem. Like if it's not China, it's not a problem. I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
know you don't ship a lot of stuff for China. I do, and
Oh,
I think a lot of the people listening do. So
well, switch it up
they're
then.
not all you, Scott.
Switch it up. Go get car parts. Car
Wow, you're
parts from the
blaming the victims
1920s
here.
made by
Yeah,
Ford
you
himself.
you know where you can stick that, right? This is like Oh my
I,
god.
I'm not a trader. I'm not
What?
selling stuff from China.
Oh my god, what a mess.
I'm a true patriot. It's either from Canada or the U.S. Well, Germany and England, like some of those other countries are good, but I'm
Oh my
not
god.
selling anything from China. Dawn doesn't sell anything from China. All her ephemera is probably Canadian or American made.
But it's also the bureaucracy of it too, right? Of having to
Oh, now we're getting into the bureaucracy. What?
well, you have to well, we'll see.
I don't know if we want to
I'm
go
not gonna
down
say
that
anything
rabbit
else
hole.
because you keep telling me it hasn't happened to you, so therefore doesn't exist.
It
So
doesn't exist. Yeah.
I love your ability to put your head in the sand. I wish I had that ability.
There's no head in the sand. I get to like perk right up and like walk like a proud chicken.
Wow. Well, when you get hit, you let me know when your head gets chopped off. Anyways, we'll
Dude,
find out later today because I have to go at some point today to Canada Post, and I'll be asking for a. We'll see if I'm going to be asking for a e-transfer at that point.
You can't make it up. I want to see documentation.
Oh my god! So,
But
anyways,
when I sell like old books, I'm looking around here. Everything is pretty much Canadian or American or
Scott,
German.
We're
or
not all
England,
you,
and there's a lot of English made stuff.
right? But we're not all you, Scott. There's other people. They're
Well,
selling different things.
people need to listen to my bolo segment.
Oh,
Hey,
bolo! Shoot, I haven't even thought of that.
you haven't got a bolo, Carl?
I'm not saying that. I'm just implying it heavily.
Now you're stressed about something else. I'm
Oh
stressed over a
God.
bolo.
Okay, enough of the tariffs. Because
You
like this is
brought it
all gonna be
on.
we got a lot of views for that one though. That was pretty good. That's our
Oh, did
highest.
we?
Yeah, we got a highest amount of views ever for our show.
Did you like the thumbnail?
I like all the thumbnails.
That's you and me sitting in the car with those creatures coming, eh?
Oh,
I don't know if
God.
you got onto that.
Yeah, no, that was funny. They're zombies or something. Yeah.
I was gonna put Carl tariffs, and then you were like, run or like drive or
That was,
something.
yeah.
But you're
Yeah,
sitting there with beer, or one of us is. I don't know who's driving. One of us. You pick who you want to be. But it was funny. But
so yeah. Anyways, hopefully next week, because I was saying the same thing. Like it's not practical. Next week there could be. Who knows? 12 hours from now there could be different rules. 4 hours. Like I said, this thing with the USPS stopping everything changed in a few hours. So we'll see.
I'm just glad that the tariff shenanigans didn't go through, because that would have been really more of an issue. I think that could have been a problem.
Well, it's 30 days.
Not even like just psychologically. I think it would affect things. You know.
Oh, I'm still stressed about. Well, not stress is too strong a word, but upset about it. But it's 30 days. But now saying 30 days doesn't mean it's not going to be extended or dropped at that point. So
Yeah, I mean, as long as our
company.
fearless leader comes through with what he promised, then and I can't blame the Americans for wanting some maybe more control of the border. I don't want to get into why or who or anything. I'm just saying our own government had said, yeah, the border needs to be fixed. We're having guns and drugs run into our country. And I'm like, well, then just fix it. Just why make it into more of an issue than it has to be? Just fix the problem, make everybody happy, and let's move on our merry way. You know what I mean? Like Doug Ford said, you know how many guns are being run across that border? And I'm like, well, you just admitted there's a problem then. Like, fix it. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a big Doug Ford fan, because I'm not at all. But, well, I guess maybe my comment shows that. But I'm just saying, like, what's the argument then? Like, just fix the problem. But
here, you heard it here first, everyone. Scott has the solution. Quote unquote, just fix it.
Yeah, like, okay. But why create an issue where it's going to hurt so many people? You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like, if there's a problem and you're agreeing with the guy that's threatening to put tariffs on unless we correct the problem, but you agree that there is a problem, then fix it. Like, their own words said that, yeah, there's a problem here. There is a problem. So then fix the problem. Like, don't just agree with it and then fight back. Like, why put the company... Like, I was getting texts from friends that I work for at Toyota.
Yeah.
Like, concerned that they could lose their jobs.
Well,
like,
they're right. Why? They could lose their jobs.
Yeah. But why would our fearless leaders even entertain that idea? Like, just fix a problem, shut up, and move on.
Blaming a little bit, to be honest, though.
Well, and then if that wasn't enough, so let's just say they fix the problem and then there's more, then you got to push back. But if you're agreeing with the problem is there, then just fix it. That's it. Like, if you're saying, listen, there's no problem, this is all made up, that's a different story. But they're admitting that there's a problem. That's my issue. Like, I'm not even picking sides. I'm just saying, if you're agreeing that there's a problem here, then just fix it. Like, shut up and fix it. Right? Wow. Because then it becomes personal, and then everybody's fighting amongst themselves, and everybody has different opinions, and then it just more divide. And I hate that.
I think the ship has sailed. So, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Like I said, I'll check out later today and see if anything happened, and hopefully this will all be under the bridge, and we'll never have to think about this again. It's just like, no matter what, this Canada Post strike taking care of Q4 for a lot of Canadians. And now this, like, 90% of my stuff goes to the United States personally. It's just another thing for small business. Like, it's hard on people, right? and hopefully it'll all be behind us. But let's get off this tariff thing because I don't think it's too fluid, and we said what we think. And I want to ask you, how was your last week apart from all of this crap?
Um, my my last week was fine. I mean, I've got completely distracted away from listing, and I hate that. Like I feel like, okay, I've been busy, I've been doing a lot of stuff, but when I don't get my listing in, it affects my brain because now I feel so far behind. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'm never going to get that time back. So that's kind of a pain. That being said, I've still had some pretty decent sales. Um, Not nearly what I would have if I was completely listing. Uh, I'm pretty much sold. I just had a item go out yesterday for that robot, and it was the $225, $250,
the
and it
Heath
was
kit.
the Heathkit robot.
Yeah,
So I honestly think there might be a couple circuit boards left, and that sucker's pretty much done. So pretty
carved like
happy.
a turkey.
What's that?
Carved like a turkey.
Yes, I mean
Here's some
that worked
drumsticks.
out.
Here's some breast meat. Yeah,
That worked out really well. I was really happy with that.
yeah,
Um, Things are going well. The booth, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I kind of revamped heavily the downstairs booth.
yeah. Making
Um,
into a book place.
So I'm going to
Yeah,
work on more of that today.
yeah.
That's coming along well. The books are selling pretty decently. Um, I still have tons of room to bring more books in, but I think on the weekend I probably sold 10 books.
What's funny? I was looking back through my booth sales, and books are one of my best. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, books do so well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not every book. There's a lot of books that I'm just
No.
donating. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what I buy roughly 1,000 books, and I probably took, I don't know, 200 just redonated it. Right, like they're not
Yeah.
even worth it.
No,
So,
I donated a lot those last few weeks too. Not
but
in
there's a
books,
lot
but
of
in
books I'm going to put
membership.
online for in the $150 to $300 range.
Hmm.
Right, so I think I talked about that too. The one that is the booklet for that tool that was very expensive, that brand of
Yeah.
tool. But in my book lot was the book based on those tools, and it's from the 30s or 40s. Um, yeah, so I'm going to put $300 on that.
Nice.
So yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of digressing a lot. I think you were asking how was my week. I think overall it was good. I just didn't get the listing I wanted to do. Stuff is gone. I hung out with my cousins there on Saturday, which kind of leads into Sunday, because you're just up late. You're a mess. So there was a couple days gone, but we went out and we went to the casino. So
Yeah.
yeah, won some money there.
Nice.
Yeah, so not a whole lot, but could have been. The jackpot was 800 and something $1,000. So
Oh, that would have been good.
that would have been good. It
Like that.
goes too. Like it's not one of those dreamful things. It's just you know, it will go. And there's a constant. I mean, I won't get into it, but anyways, um, but yeah. So I don't know. I just kind of been. I think you've said it before. When the cat's away, the mice play. You know.
Yeah.
So I think there was just too much playing around. Stuff doesn't come back till Saturday. So I don't
Get
know.
your dates right. You don't want her
I
showing up
know,
early.
dude. I know. You're so correct. But yeah, so it's just kind of I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm kind of all over the place right now, Carl. But I think everything is going decently except for
Yeah.
my lifting, and I've said that before. And it is what it is. What it is.
Did you get through your backlog of pictures for the soldiers that your son did?
Oh no. There's just so much there, right? So not even just soldiers, but everything. Like, he's working on the books now. So I got a bunch of books to catch up on and all sorts of stuff. So, um, but I had that book lot, so I had to go through them. That was a thing. It took me three trips to go and get those books.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was a lot, right? So, just a lot going on. So,
It's not like
Yeah.
you're not working when you say you're not listing. It's just that you're spending time, like you have to do the books, right? There's no choice on that. You had to go and
Yeah,
book them all.
yeah. So it's one of those catch-22 things. You make your money on the back end. Books are very simple to photograph. Honestly, they're actually easier than the toy soldiers
Mm,
to list. Um, so I can list them very quickly, but to get to that point of where I can list them is a bit of a process. Take out the good ones. Take out the ones that's going to go to the booth. Then you're going to figure out the ones that go to online, and then it's just hammering them out online. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So it's
yeah,
kind of like you make your money on the back end of those things. That being said, there's some nice auctions coming up that I'm really looking forward to.
yeah.
Um, and just that's about it, I guess. So, what about
And
you? What's going
and
on?
I think we talked about it like that Volkswagen toolbox you didn't get, right? I'm not sure if we
Right.
mentioned it. It went so high that it just
Yeah.
wasn't worth it. And that happens. It's frustrating when that happens.
Well,
But then you'll know that knowledge forever though,
I'll
right?
know that knowledge and I'll be looking for those tools. Now
Yeah.
that went for 575. I think I stopped, which is still pretty high. I think I went 525 or 535 is where I stopped. Um, and actually, it was one of those scenarios because I talked to the lady that runs the auction. It was one of those scenarios you said. Someone sitting there and letting two people beat each other up, and then someone came in at the last and bumped it up again, and the other person backed out. I backed out so I would have backed out around 525, 535, and then the other person would have got the bet was now going to win. I don't know if you call it winning, but was going to get it. And then someone came on and swooped. Then it was a counter bid, and then that person that came in right at the end hit it at 575, and the other person
He
stopped.
let
So
the other two people beat each other up and then he came in fresh
yes, and I
and
was
then
the one that
whacked.
was getting beat up. I got beat up. Yes, and so apparently,
That was a live auction, right?
no, it was online.
It was online. Okay.
Yeah. So, but when I talked to the person that runs it, she was telling me what happened. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
because I said I tried. I said I tried to
Yeah,
get it. It just didn't
it's
make sense because you got
frustrating.
to pay buyer premium and taxes and
Yeah.
everything. Like you're looking
And
at almost $1,000, and what are you going to sell it for?
yeah. Yeah.
1,500. I know some people are asking over 2,000, but
And buyer premiums 13% actually at some of the auctions. I thought it was 5, but it's 13%.
yeah,
Max sold is 18%.
18%.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it isn't bad if you're spending less than $10 per item, but
No,
right,
if you look at it that way, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, when you start paying $500 and stuff, that sucks.
Yep.
But
Again, there's taxes on top of that too. So it's a double whammy, really.
yeah, yeah. So I just got to a point where it didn't make any sense because I'm also losing on the selling end. I'm losing my, 20 to 30% on the selling end. So it didn't make sense at all to go any further. But it
Yeah.
would have been nice to have and just talk about, right? So
Well, we learned, like I talked to on the weekend, I talked to someone about those tools you mentioned. I can't remember the name. I keep forgetting the name. It's a short name like Hexen or something. I can't even remember.
all right, Carl. So I have the book right here. So
Yeah.
has it. So Hazet.
Yeah. Has it. Yeah. Well, that's
Right.
weird.
So
Yeah.
that's the name you're going to want to find. So
It can be pretty
yeah.
rare.
So
Like
I
I said,
have
I talked to a tool guy and he hadn't even heard of it. So that's
yeah,
all he
but it's
does.
very like high end tool. So
It's a home run if you find it.
the only thing about this book is it's missing one page at the front, which would give me the date. Oh, give me the date and everything. So that's the only problem.
That's
Um,
annoying.
yeah, but it's on a spiral thing, so you can't even look at it to know. You have to look at the number of page, like the number at the bottom corner,
Yeah. Yeah.
because like it's got spirals, right? So
Yeah.
you can't even tell by looking at it that a page is missing. But anyway, so yeah, so I don't know where we were going with
I
this,
just
but
asked you how the auction went with that
oh,
Volkswagen
okay, yeah.
toolkit.
So I didn't get that, but that's where I got the horn and all that kind of stuff. I did really good
Yeah.
at that auction. The steering wheel.
Yeah.
There's another steering wheel coming up. It's a different one, and it's probably worth $400, $300 to $400.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, if I get it for under $50, it's a no brainer. That's what I got the other one for. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay,
So
so how did things go with you
so
this
my
week?
week was fine, like nothing. So the big thing for me is I doubled the booth, right? So now I instead of a 10 by 10, I have a 20 wide by 10 deep booth. There's a center thing in the way though, and he was supposed to take that out and he didn't. It's kind of like a pegboard, like that divides the booths in half. So,
Oh,
but he was
okay.
really busy because everyone's going paying him rent on the first Sunday, and he was running around. So he said he'll do it. We'll do it next Sunday. So, but I what I did mostly was brought in a whole bunch of shelving units and move things around, and I like it because there was more action. It was kind of awkward because it's like, which booth do I sit in, right? But it'll be good, even if I'm not making more money. It's more action, so it's
Makes the
better.
day go by quicker.
It does. I have my new cell phone, which wasn't perfect, but worked a lot better.
Oh,
So, for example, like I bought a bunch of Smurfs off Salge. Thank you, Salge. And I, was able to comp them and stuff like that to make sure that they were just like average ones.
yeah,
Um, I bought some postcards off a guy. Like, actually, Salge introduced him to me too, and the guy was like, "Oh, these are all just leftovers. You can have your money back if they don't sell well." And it's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's like $20. I got a whole bunch, but they're all romance postcards, which really don't have a lot of value, which I kind of knew anyways. I kind of wanted just to, you know, $20. I'm willing to make a business friendship. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
to, so hopefully you'll have, like, I asked him, I said, I recognized him. I said, "Oh, you had a bunch of postcards." "Oh yeah, I'll bring in a box." It was a huge tub full of postcards the guy had. A hilarious quantity. It's like, okay, well, I'll buy this amount and we'll start from there. So I bought that stuff. I actually listed this week and actually sold something. So that was good. So I have
nice.
that going on.
What was it?
It was a WizKids toy. Like, like WizKids. It's kind of, they have black round bases. Anyways, that'll probably be we'll talk about that because I'll probably talk about that in the bolo a little bit.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's gonna be my bolo. And then you know, really that was it. Like, I got a bunch of Timu stuff. Speaking of ordering from China. So I got a bunch
Okay,
of displays from Timu. Actually, and they have an interesting way of doing it because we have the duties. They actually include that in the
yeah,
price. So they've figured out a way that it can get to you without any of the BS. So that's kind of good. So I bought a bunch of that stuff, and I got a bunch of stuff for displaying coins. So I asked the guy across from me, he sells coins, and I don't want to, go in and on his niche. So I said, "Do you care if I sell stuff that displays coins?" Because he doesn't sell any of that stuff. And he said, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'll let you know if I think it's a problem." Because I want to. I'd rather have the friendship there than like make $2 off a Timu repurchase. So I'll be
yeah,
getting that today, I think, or tomorrow. So we'll see how those go. A different kind of way of reselling is buying off, like Alibaba or Timu and seeing if people are willing to pay a higher price just to get it right then and there, right? I'm not
yeah.
saying it's going to work, but I'm going to try.
Nobody's gonna know to go to Temu and order them, and you're probably gonna buy them in bulk. Like I don't think you can probably just buy like five.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, and does it
Yeah.
cost more to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I wanted to see what the product was like. I'm not gonna. Either way, I don't think it's gonna be a big money maker. It's just something different.
yeah,
And I wanted them for my own coins, to be honest. Um, yeah. So I think that's about it. Like, I went and donated a whole bunch of stuff, so clearing out stuff. The nice thing about having the bigger booth is I got a lot of stuff out of the basement again, and I'll have a lot more going out. My friend who I'm doing commissions for, he's gonna bring him. I said he could have a wall, and his stuff has been selling well. So he's going to bring in more stuff. And like the neighbors are there too. They gave me my booth neighbors gave me a display cabinet that was really nice. So it's going good. Yeah, it's
that's good.
and they're
Well,
it's
I
pretty.
like to see.
You like to see money?
No, I'd like to see. I like to see how the booth does as it gets bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. So it's funny how when you put things in people's view, like I had this like Pooh Bear telephone that no one saw at all. And I've had it since like day one. I put it on top of these tables and like everyone was looking at the stupid phone. Actually, I had a
Really?
funny thing where like because it was so visible now, like it was at eye level instead of on the floor in a shelf. It makes a huge difference. So I had $50 on that and someone offered me 40
Yeah.
and I said yeah. And they said, okay, well, we're gonna look around, and then they left without picking it up.
Oh
They
my
changed their
god.
mind. That sucked. But it wasn't like I didn't really care that much. It's like whatever. But it was just kind of funny. Um yeah, it was fine. Like they're January, February is their quietest time. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's
Right.
it.
All right, Carl. So what time is it now?
Time for Bolo of the Week.
Bolo of the week. Do you got a bolo?
Yeah.
What
So
is it?
I'll start. Now this is kind of like my Skylanders, okay? Don't go and buy every single one of these things. But what I picked up this week was a huge, basically, bin full of things called Mage Knights, which is like Hero Clicks or Whiz Kids. And to be clear, before anyone misquotes me and complains, 99% of them are valueless, okay? And you should
Okay.
stay far, far away. But like everything, there's exceptions. And for me, the big ones, there's like 8 or 10 huge ones in the box. And they, for me, like one of them, for example, was a Mage Knight called the Spirit Celestial Conquest. And all I've done so far is check the big ones. And that one sells for about 30 to $40 Canadian just by itself. I had another one, a giant in there. I put it up for 15 American and it sold overnight already. So it's not like you're going to get big money. But I think the thing with these Whiz Kids is they look so what they are is they're little figures, toys with a black round base, and you're definitely going to see these at Value Village. Is where I usually see all of them, but also maybe occasionally garage sales. Although I don't think I've ever seen someone selling it. You have to be careful though, because people. This is the sort of thing people overvalue, and really they're worth like 5 to 25 cents each, kind of thing. So I'd stay well away from the small ones. But if there's a lot of big ones, you might have a opportunity because, like I said, one of them sells for 40, and I picked up quite a few of them. Most of them, even the big ones, are only going to sell like 10, 15, $20. But if you get this cheap enough, I have one figure in there that's going to basically pay for the whole lot. All the little ones, now the little ones can drive you nuts because the little ones, there are going to be rare ones. For Hero Clicks, there's actually color coordinated, like little rarity colors at the bottom. I'll leave that up to people to research them, but basically, even if they're super rare, doesn't mean they're valuable. And what I just do is use a Google Lens and just quickly look. And then at the booth, I'm going to put them in a pile for $1 each for all the extras, right? And they'll be there for a while. They're slow sellers, but I find a lot of people just are dismissing this stuff, and there are good ones. Like I said, the bigger, the better. Yeah, and that's my bolo for the week.
Okay. So you said you've bought some, and you have one that could pay for the whole thing.
Yeah, so I got a huge bin full of them for $50,
Okay.
and I paid a lot less because I used a coupon and all that. And just I've already sold one of the figures for 15 American, and one of them is worth about $50 by itself. So
So is it something you lot up and do well with as well?
I've tried lotting them up online for the cheap ones, and I find that they didn't really sell, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
Um, for some of them, like there's a lot of very similar looking things. For the Hero Clicks ones, which are like superheroes, like Marvel and DC, I found there's cards that go with them, and people want the card and the figure, so you have to be a little careful for that. This other type, which I hadn't seen before, called Mage Knight, don't seem to have cards. So, um, and to be clear, I'm not saying you're going to get rich off of this stuff. This is kind of like a bread and butter, and I only got these is because it had so many huge figures, and I knew the huge figures had a chance of being good. So, and even then, it was a bit of a risky buy. I would have preferred it if it was like $20 or $30. But, and like I said, the problem is if you try to buy this off of someone, I have a feeling they're going to overvalue all this stuff by far. So, it's prime death pile stuff too. That, you know, you figure, well, what happens if there's a rare small one in there? And there probably isn't. And it's going to take a lot of your time to research it. So you have to kind of balance that as well.
All right, very good.
And they're made in China.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there'd be no issue there.
Find out later today because it's going out later today.
And that's the one I could end up having to owe you $15 on?
That's right. American too. Real money.
So what happens? What do I get in return if
I didn't agree to anything? You should have negotiated.
No, I'm just asking you. Well, if you're confident in what you're saying, then
that's too late. We've already agreed. The deal has been struck.
Yeah, well, that just sounds like you're unconfident. Then you're thinking I'm probably going to be right. Then I guess that's fine. I think I'm probably going to be right.
You take that out of it what you will.
Yeah.
So stop stalling. Stop stalling. What's your bolo of the week?
That's exactly what I'm thinking for sure. Well, I got kind of two bolos. I'm only going to pick one this week, and I'm going to do one next week. I just want to quickly determine which one I want to put on today. Have I ever talked about magazines that not magazines, but more? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, Carl. I'm going to just talk about this one. So I got one for next week as well. So I'm going to talk about, they're not magazines as information magazines, but they're catalogs for stores. I don't think I've talked about that, right?
Not as your bolo, no.
Not as a bolo. So I've sold a couple recently Sears catalogs, the Christmas theme ones. But that's not even the ones I'm like, those are included in this bolo. But look out for the older ones that I've done well with, and I bought a bunch of them. Were they're for boats. They're 1950s, so vintage 1955 Kermit Marine equipment. So it can have like for parts, repair, equipment. I've sold some out of the booth for catalogs for motor, like auto parts. This one here is for boats, 1955. I got $35 for it. And you can usually find these in estate sales for like nothing. You know what I mean? They're probably not even looking to sell them, but as you go through the estate and you look through books and different things, you'll come across these. So I've sold, it's a Canadian thing, but it's the, oh my God, Consumer Distributors magazine. I've got those ones. I should call them catalogs, really, because they're not magazines. I've sold those for $80 and $100. They were from the 80s, and all it is showing you toys that is for sale. So if you get the vintage ones, they can do actually very well. Based on what they're selling. Like this one in the 80s had all the Star Wars toys and all that, and what they were worth and all that kind of stuff, right?
I remember as a kid being so excited to get those catalogs, and I would like spend hours looking through the toys of which ones I wanted and circled the Star Wars stuff and all that.
Yeah.
So that's the time period you're talking about, 1980s and earlier, or
yeah, I think earlier. The Christmas ones were in the 70s, 80s. And they sold, I think I got over $50 for each of those ones. They were Sears. But you can get them in basically any of the, like I think the Christmas theme ones sold because it was near Christmas. But just catalogs, I'm selling one now. A guy from the antique booth had a bunch and they're brand new, but they were catalogs for a certain ceramic brand. And they've been selling for $100. So because these were new, I put $135. But I've also sent out offers to watchers for $100 or $95. Haven't got a hit yet, but they didn't cost me anything.
So
Um,
what do you say ceramic? These are like catalogs for ceramics?
the ones that I'm kind of bouncing around. There's boat part catalogs, there's
Right.
toys, there's
Right.
Sears brands, all that kind of stuff. But there's also one that I've listed recently, and he has 10 of them. Oh, they're all brand new. How he got them, I don't know. But I think they're from the 90s, maybe even early 2000s. But it's a ceramic company, like a company that makes ceramics. They made a brand. They made a line of Christmas themed ones and different ones. Um, on the cover is the Christmas themed one, but there's others. I can look it up quickly if you want me to find out what it is, but it really doesn't matter. It's just my bolo is just catalogs, vintage catalogs that show items that were for sale. And if you niche it down, it could be rifles, it could
Right.
be anything like I said, car parts I've sold out of the booth and stuff. But they're just showing a catalog of things that were for sale, whatever year that catalog was made. Um, Trying to think, I've sold a lot of these kind of things. Like even the boats, you're going to have different brands. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I think who's buying them, and I could be wrong, but probably people who collect certain things. And so if you're into like boat parts or like boating and a
Mm-hmm.
certain brand, that maybe that this goes along with that. It's almost like the dealer brochures, where if you
Okay.
collect that car, you're going to want the dealer brochure, because a lot of those car collectors will take their cars to shows and stuff, but they have that dealer brochure showing that car. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think I don't think like there's anything that's really much more than $100, but there's a lot out there in the $30 to $50 range. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I like that range. Like that. And
Yeah,
they're easy.
for nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For
Yeah.
like you'll pick them up for peanuts. I got a whole stack of these boat ones for like, I don't know. He looked through it and oh, this could be something because these are old. They're old, right? But I think he like $20, but I got a whole stack of them, right?
Yeah.
So um but anyways, it was actually the same location I bought those trolley bells, but
Yeah.
it was a year later. So he just kind of has a yard sale and clears out some of his dad's stuff,
Yeah.
right? So he's I guess he's got like a house full of boxes, and so he brings out little tidbits every year, and he has a couple yard sales, you know.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah. But anyways, though that was for the boat ones. But the other catalog ones I bought at different places, like the consumer distributor and different things. Old Canadian Tire catalogs sell well too,
Mm.
especially if they're from the 50s and older. Like I've done well with those ones. If the condition does mean a lot, especially if
Oh,
they're
okay.
Canadian Tire and stuff. I don't know if people display them or what, but condition can mean a lot on some of them. But it's not everything. It doesn't, like if really good condition gets you like $60, you still might get 30 for like a little bit poorer condition. Yeah.
Well, that's different.
So you know what? Actually, as we talk about it, we were talking about that tool, the Hazet,
Yeah.
Hazet. Um, that book there is a catalog on those tools, right? And I
Cool.
might get $300 for that. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
going to list for that. So
Awesome.
yeah. So I don't think I've talked about catalogs before, right?
Only with cars. Um,
The dealer brochures.
yeah, and stuff
Yeah,
like
but
that.
not on this show for Bolo. Like I don't think I've.
No, we talked about it maybe briefly when you were talking about the tools last time.
Okay.
But
All right. But yeah,
cool.
any old store catalog, the vintage, and honestly, I found it. There might be different rules for different ones, but for the most part, the older the better,
Mm,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So
No, it's like when I was talking about the Life magazines, the Time magazines. That's the case where older, better condition makes a big
mean,
difference.
means, but I just think because the older they are, the less they are. Like they're probably things that have been mass produced, right? Because they want people to. They're advertising.
Yeah.
They want to get it out to the masses, but a lot of them got just thrown out.
Yeah.
So
Why would you hold on to something like that?
yeah. So all right. So that's my bolo of the week, and I have another
Awesome.
bolo for next week. So
Awesome.
Already ready.
Teasing already.
Yes. So, all right, Carl, what time is it now?
Now it's time for comments of the week.
Comments of the
Woo!
week.
And as
All right.
always, we'll start with Spotify because I don't have to do anything.
All right. So I will get into Spotify here. And Tina Mac. Tina Mac has a comment. Caught your show, Scott. Great job. I wonder what episode that was, what show it was. I'll have to come and see the new booth, Carl.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely come and say hi.
I don't even know what to say about all the nonsense that has gone on for the last couple of days. Craziness.
It's gotten worse since that episode too. Yeah.
I think it's gotten better. We don't have the tariffs they've been pushed back, so that's good. That's what I was concerned about. See, we see things so opposite, Carl. Hey, it's I don't know what.
I don't want to get back into it. Let's keep going, Tina. You've already screwed us up.
Yeah, we went on a crazy
Thanks,
adventure last time with her comment. But all right, thanks, Tina, for the comment.
Yes, thank you.
We got Chipman678. Chipman, thanks for coming in here and being our. I think this is the first time you commented, so thank you. Hi, guys. Congrats on your upcoming bigger booth, Carl. This is Ken. Oh, okay, Ken.
Hello, Ken.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, Ken. Retro guy from the old Sunday night show. Yes. My booth has been slow the last couple of weeks. Oosh. So just a little background on Ken. He started out with a booth.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think he had 2, and then he had none, and then now he's got his own store.
Yeah, now he's running one.
Now he's running one, right? So
yeah.
Long time listener. Thank you so much for the comment, Ken. And yeah, that sucks. It's been slow. I guess the best way to say it for us is we've had slow days, and then we've had some really banger days. So when you average it all out, it's kind of right where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there was a Sunday that I was like, really? Like, that's it? And then there was a Saturday that was past expectations. So right now, like, hopefully it continues, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, February can kind of slow down a little bit. Mm-hmm. But thanks so much for the comment, Ken.
Yep. Thank you for finding
All right, Carl.
Is that it for Spotify?
That is it for Spotify.
So over to YouTube. So first one is from Doing It Wrong. I have a quick and easy solution to all these duties and tariffs and fees and everything. Just become the 51st United States. USA. What? Doing it wrong. Wow. He has a little sarcasm tag there. So
you know what? I'm willing to go halfway on that one. In that I wouldn't mind if they opened up the border and we could just freely cross and we could work wherever you wanted, but you kind of keep your identity as a Canadian. Like, I'm proud to be a Canadian, don't get me wrong. But I mean, ever since 9/11, things got really tight, but there used to be a time where you could just go across with a driver's license.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't mind meeting kind of halfway on that. I mean, I know they're just joking and stuff, but like, I don't know. What's your thoughts on, just without getting too into it, Carl, but like the open border, just kind of having like a little bit more crossover freedom amongst each other? Because we're basically family. Like, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. Like, I love going to the US. Right. I haven't, like, I'm sure they're like, when I see Canadians go to Vegas and I watch them on the show and the way they act when they get all drunk, like, I'm embarrassed. So I'm sure there's characters on both sides that can embarrass each other. But for the most part, like, I don't recall like being face to face or interacting with an American that I didn't get along with.
Oh God, no. Like, I found all Americans are very friendly.
Yeah.
In my experience. But this right now is something different. This is
I think it's trolling though. Like, I'm not getting triggered over this. Like, I know some people get real crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I hate to even say anything because everybody's going to get all mad. I saw a great
If
like
this had no
indirect.
effect on our economy, I'd be like, whatever. But the effect is real. It's already happened. The effect has already happened. It's not nothing, right?
Hasn't
So
affected me.
and it's gotten worse. So hopefully it'll turn around. But I can't control any of that. But so should we go to the next one?
Well,
Do,
well, I just want to talk about this one. It's an Instagram. I was going to call it a meme, but it's really funny. So there's a bald eagle, and they have "Oh Canada" playing in the background, and there's a bald eagle, and a Canada goose comes flying in over this pond, chases away the bald eagle, and it flies away. I don't know. I thought
so
it
you
was
got to
kind of
watch
funny.
out for those Canadian geese. Yeah, they're
Canadian
nasty.
geese are vicious, man.
They're nasty. Yeah,
If they have like little geese,
yeah.
and like you walk towards them,
They'll defend
they'll.
those gooselings like it's
Oh
nothing.
my
Yeah.
god, yeah, the Canada geese are vicious for sure.
So I'm
But
going to do the next one from doing it wrong because it was related to my bolo from last week. For those refrigerator filters, you cannot say they're Whirlpool or whatever brand they're for. You sell them as the actual brand and say fits Whirlpool models XXX, for example. Pure line refrigerator water filter model X blah blah blah. Fits Whirlpool every drop filter blah blah blah. You can use compatible with instead of fits. This method is eBay approved. Oh, well, thank you. Doing it wrong. I didn't know that. I'm scared of it now that I've been like already zeroed. I don't want to risk it, but it's hard when you find these things on a regular basis and you have no choice about leaving them behind, especially when they're worth 40 or $50. So that's kind of why I was mentioning them before for people who have not gone zeroed. It's like the inkjet ink. It's like I got zeroed for that for HP, but I was making good money off those HP inks until it happened. So if you can keep doing that for a while, then it's really good.
all right, so I'll take the next one here, Carl from Carverman 613. Sayage. I
Yep.
think we can. I think we can't worry too much until it actually happens. Hey, that's exactly what I was saying. I agree. I agree. He's spewing a lot of misinformation, and there will be pushback from companies and politicians in both countries. He's already said on January 30th, tariffs may not include oil. 100%. And I think he does that. Like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to analyze why that happens. But he's a businessman, not a politician. He's a negotiator. And if you look at it like poker, you're always trying to keep the person off center. You're trying to keep them on tilt and different things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
dude, we played poker this weekend. We went to the casino. I said I was with my cousins there.
Yeah.
And there was this American, not kidding, he's an American guy. He was talking all about his mother's there and how expensive it is to keep her in an old age home and stuff. And he was
Mm-hmm.
from the US. But he was really very boisterous and trying to push people on tilt. So, dude, I hammered him so hard, so many times, right? Because there was one time where you catch, I don't know if anybody knows poker, but you catch the river, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I had you crushed up to the river." And I said, "Well, I have you crushed now." You know what I mean? And he goes, "Oh, but I had you to the river." I said, "Buddy," I said, "It's a 7-card game. If you only play 2 cards, then, that's not how you play this game." He's getting all blah, 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 blah. So I beat him again for a huge hand. I said, "Oh, I had you crushed." He's like getting all
Wow.
busy, eh? Oh my God, dude. It was so funny. The whole table was laughing. I'm not backing down from this guy. Go screw
No.
yourself. Like, if you're sitting there putting me down for winning a hand, you know what I mean? Saying you
Yeah.
had me crushed.
Yeah.
I'm coming 100 times,
You,
man. I'm coming hard
you
at
gotta you gotta stand up to these bullies.
dude.
Exactly.
He ended up switching tables.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, I
That's
must have
funny.
won. The whole table was laughing, but it was kind of a shame because he was really pushing a lot of money and he was losing it, right?
Yeah.
So you
You
don't
lose,
want
lose.
those guys to run away,
No, no.
right? But I was just
You
trying to
pushed them a
keep on
little too
tilt.
far.
But it was funny. And then he ended up leaving because I guess over on that table he was doing bad too, and he ended up
Mm.
leaving. And I'm like, well, I hope his mom doesn't have to live on the street
Oh my god. Oh my god.
because he was talking
Oh.
about how expensive it is, and I'm like, if he's losing all this money, right? But anyway, sorry,
Hey,
I
what are you
digress.
gonna
But it was hilarious, man.
do?
It was really a lot of fun. I love that, right? So because a lot of these people try to get you on tilt, right? They try to get you knocked
Oh
off, and
yeah.
that's kind of that's what Trump's doing. He's trying to keep everybody off balance. He even fooled me. I said to you before, oh, he ain't gonna put tariffs on these things, and he got down to it. I'm like, holy Christ, he's gonna do it, and then all of a sudden he doesn't do it, right? And I'm like, man, he got me, like
Mm.
So I think Carver man is 100% right. He's going to throw out a lot of stuff at you. You don't know what's coming, and all you have to do is just kind of stay the course and just we'll worry about it when it happens. So I guess in a long-winded type of way, I agree with Carver man.
So
May not
Vancouver
include.
replied to
I
that
think
one.
I did. He's already said on January 30th, tariffs may not include oil. So I said everything. There was a reply to that though.
Yeah, from Vancouver.
It happened as of today, signed by Trump, 25% across the board, and he revokes the 800 U.S. de minimis as well. Anything except oil energy into the U.S. will be subjected to a 25% tariff, and energy is 10%. Yeah, this was 3 days ago. Cross-border shippers will feel the effect as they package things in 800 or less bundles to avoid any duties. So there's no longer an option. It takes effect February 4th. Well, here again lies the truth. You can't keep up to this, right? He's keeping everybody on edge, and already that's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very damaging. Yeah.
Right. So Trudeau agreed to all his demands in regards to the border, and he did that
Right.
with Mexico. Mexico as
Right.
well, the same stipulations, and
Mm-hmm.
it seems to have calmed the water. So we'll
Yeah.
see. What do you
So
got next?
I'll do the next one. From doing it wrong. Carl, I don't know if you already have this set up personally, but most of those wind up clocks use a standard square brass keys. Actually, I didn't know that. You can pick up a set of the standard sizes 3 to 12 off Amazon for less than $20. Then you can test clocks. Oh, thank you. Doing it wrong. I actually might do that because I wouldn't mind because there's other things I have as well. I don't know if they would work with wind up toys, but I have a wind up toy missing the key as well. So why not? For $20, I don't mind picking stuff up and just taking a chance.
Um, Actually, I like in the antique booth, you could usually pick them up for $5 to $10. But you have to see if they fit because not all of them will fit. So, but they they're definitely out there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about the wind up clocks, the old antique wind up clocks that needs the key, right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm saying I bought one is missing the key, and I also have that wind up toy missing the key. So I wouldn't mind, like, if it's $20 for, like, obviously they're not old, they're new ones, but it'd be nice for $20 just to have the keys for testing,
yeah.
but also just give the key, and then it's not that much of a deal,
But you
right?
might have
Instead
to
of an
know the
antique one.
size. So what I was going to suggest is take your clock into the booth and walk around and see if any vendors have it. Because if there's vendors with antiques, they're going to probably most likely have, or if they don't have them, they'll say, "Listen, Carl, I have a bunch at home. I'll bring them in next week."
Right.
But um, they're they're possibly going to have keys for sale, especially like I'll put them in a junk drawer thing and I'll put like $5 on them,
Mm.
or I don't know if they say. However, if they say like I don't know. I don't want to get into that rabbit hole, but you'll probably be able to find it. Take your clock with you. You don't have to put it for sale. You can put it in your bigger empty booth side now. And no,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You
Well,
put
I'm
it
actually
under
I'm
your
doing
desk.
stuff like that. I do stuff like this stuff to work on. I actually leave there now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that would be something, and then you'll be surprised. There's probably keys that'll fit that for sure. That's a good point. Doing it wrong for sure. Um. So is it my turn to read something?
Yep. Do another one.
Okay. Well, I'll keep with Carverman Sayage. My issue with eBay tape was to steal a letter mail envelope. 3 envelopes with no tracking disappear over a period of 2 weeks in a similar post code region. Not saying it was a postal worker, but coincidence. My wife asked me if I used the eBay tape on outside, and I said yes. She said put clear tape. Never had an issue again. Amazon era has created new career porch pirates. Small percentage of society that has no moral compass. Um, we haven't experienced. I haven't heard of anything here. I think that's probably possibly more of a city thing, but I could be wrong. Like I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to just come out and say that without any backup. But I haven't heard of anything, any type of issues here. Like if we have issues, most time it's people like breaking into cars or something, and they're only breaking into them if you leave them unlocked. They're not even smashing windows. Like knock on
Mhm.
wood, because that's good. But they just go around, check the handles. If it's open, they'll steal the change, um, or any valuables inside. But outside of that, we don't really have that I'm aware of. I haven't heard of too much of that kind of stuff. Although we did have an arson running around.
Oh wow.
We just
Okay.
caught. Yeah, he was burning old buildings, um, but they caught him. 2 guys. So uh,
Two
there
guys.
was,
You think it's a
yeah, I
loner?
think they burned 18
Oh my
places,
god.
and one someone was living in there, and they had just moved out like a couple weeks earlier. But usually they were just kind of like barns and like kind of more of the abandoned kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, they ended up catching them. So
Wow.
yeah, so I that could lead to some big time time for those 2 guys. One was in his 20s and one was in his 40s.
Hmm. Strange.
But other than that, so they would burn the parcels, I guess, as opposed to steal them.
Yeah. Well, let me not to go over the tape 1,000 times, but basically, I use tape and I've never had anything really go. So who knows? You do what you're comfortable with, right? So,
Um, so what do you got next there, Carl?
um, I'll just do the next one from doing it wrong. I don't use eBay tape because I'm a packing snob. It's inferior to most every standard tapes I've used. So I find with eBay tape, you have to tape it to itself. Like you wrap it around the package a few times. If you just kind of like leave it on the cardboard, it'll peel off. But if I wrap it around so it's like ends up, the end of the tape sits on top of other tape, then it's fine. So, and I'm not defending eBay tape that much. That's my experience. Um, I haven't seen any U.S. notification that the free supply coupons are stopping yet. Well, here's something else that's changed in the last week. Is we talked about last time how eBay said they're stopping the
Yeah,
supply coupons, and then like 24 hours later they changed their minds, and now we're
dude,
getting the eBay coupons again.
it's catchy.
Uh, well, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
you think you make a decision like that, why would you reverse it,
I
right?
don't know. One minute you're going to sell something, the next minute you're not. Like you're following the trend.
Oh my god, whatever.
Just kidding.
I used my coupon after that. It's like I bought 6x4x4 boxes,
Yeah.
but it's still 50 cents a box. It's not like it's going to save me that much money using eBay supplies. But I get it. Like if you had a big store, then maybe you could get packaged all your supplies. They get some supplies at least for quote unquote free. So it's not bad that they re-added it. It's just I think it's a funny decision. But whatever.
Well, they probably had a lot of complaints,
Least
obviously, right?
least of my problems right now is the eBay supply quarterly coupons.
Yeah.
Let me put it
Now
that
you
way.
have to like stop buying Chinese made product and you have to buy Canadian, US, or
Oh
German
well, I
or
think my
England.
Temu just got delivered, so
Uh
I'm
oh.
obviously a hypocrite. The only thing that sucks is they increased fees, by 0.35%. So, uh, you know, that sucks, but not end of the world either, I guess. As long as they don't do that too often.
All right. So I'm going to tackle the long one from Don. All right. Let me catch my breath here. It's a long, it's a book. I guess you're a bit. Your bit about the shipping supplies coupon is already out of date. Yes,
Yep.
that's you just said that. I'm very glad they changed their mind about that one. I was set to lose a $70 coupon every quarter. Really?
Then you're talking about real money. Yeah.
Yeah. So she must have a bit like the next level store.
Yeah.
Okay. I use eBay tape all the time. I just don't use it on Etsy orders. Yeah. There's a couple times when I was selling on Etsy, I would wrap it in eBay tape, and I'm like, dang. So then I had to unwrap it.
Oh, really? I don't know if I
Yeah,
care. I'm just like whatever.
yeah. I don't know. I just didn't want to.
I've heard people say don't use Amazon boxes. It's like, no, I'm using Amazon
Yeah, I
boxes.
just cover their tape up with eBay tape.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone tell me something didn't arrive where I thought it could be because of the tape. No, I agree. For me, anyways, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Usually, if something goes missing, it's letter mail. It had no tracking to begin with. Scott, try for the pronouncing. I think I got Sayage pretty much down now. Sayage's name, I heard you say concierge. So just pronounce it like that. Concierge? Cierge?
Yeah. Sales.
Sayage. Concierge. Sage. Okay, I got it. People who don't know the French pronunciation for the letter R can get away with saying it that way, I think. Carl, R-E, Timu. We talked about Timu earlier. Just being aware that a lot of things will have issues. Almost every order I've gotten from Timu has had at least one thing wrong with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's the risk we take for the low price. I haven't
Exactly.
ordered from there in a while. Also, Mr. I drive a Tesla because I don't want to pollute. Everything you order from Timu is being shipped across the world. So,
Oh, thanks, Don. You realize almost everything we have is made in China, right?
well, from what I understand, those ships have windmills on it, and that's how they power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Scott.
Yeah. So it's the windmills. When you see that windmill, they don't use sails
Stealing,
anymore. It's
stealing from the
windmills.
wind. Yeah.
Yeah. Way to freak me out about AI destroying civilization. Carl, Jesus.
Yeah. On the way, man. We're doomed. The guy at the flea market, one of my friends there, just said, "Hey, I just discovered Google Lens like 3 or 4 weeks ago." I was like, "Oh my god, how could you live as a toy seller not knowing Google Lens? It's such a powerful tool." It's
Yes, I
kind of
agree.
yeah,
There's people I've shown that to as well.
it's black magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh crap! I don't think those frigid water filters being veroed. I have several listed and haven't received any warnings, but maybe I won't bother buying them anymore when I see them. Thanks for
No,
that.
I'd still buy them until I get Veroed. I would still buy that stuff. You're just like for me, people are telling me about, oh, I got Veroed for HP Ink. It's like, well, I haven't been Veroed for HP Ink, and then one day I was Veroed for HP Ink. So it's just the way it is. You dodge bullets for a while, and then one day you get hit.
And you're forgiven for the AI thing.
Oh, good.
RE car parts. I have started buying new car parts in auctions, and I would be open to vintage hood ornaments, side mirrors,
Oh,
emblems, etc. Old parts that make a car run. However, wow, Dawn's like all. I thought it was just ephemera. She's into everything.
she's getting into your stuff. She's crowding the
Yeah.
market.
Oh. However, I would have a hard time with it because I don't want to have to try to clean those. Plus, so much of the now, a lot of them do need cleaning. That is an issue because you're going to find them in the old garages and stuff, right?
Mm.
I don't want to have to try to clean those. Plus, much of them have asbestos in them, which I think I learned like 2 months ago. Well, I didn't. The items I was referring to, I don't think have asbestos. Like they're metal, right?
Mm.
But I'll check into that. I just don't think I've seen that sort of thing around. But that's probably because I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
It would be a whole other category, set of categories. Excuse me here. Set of categories I learned, and I would have to get things dirt cheap if I didn't want to have to look everything up right away. It's kind of what I do. Um, try to get it cheap and then look it up. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I find I don't know. I'm going to go down a whole rabbit hole, but I find the way I've been doing it works for me. I get things cheap, but I'm learning a lot along the way. So I did sell a radiator cap for a Hummer H3 to a guy in Indonesia, really all over the world too. Last week, do you open up to sell to other countries or mostly
Only
just?
only UK. And I don't have a good excuse, really, to be honest. I just haven't bothered.
Yeah, he was very new to eBay. I think he was a second order, and he seemed rather confused about the whole process. A lot of people would have just canceled the order, but for a $12 item, I'll take the chance on him.
Yeah.
So, Scott, the live show is totally done now. I knew you would be taking some time off, but I wasn't sure if you would be coming back. I think it's off. We might do like a pop up every now and then, but for the most part, I think it's just done. It's just hard to always be back for that time on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so other than maybe the odd pop up, thank you guys for talking about the potential tariffs. I hate not knowing. I know there are some people out there turning off shipping. Really, people are just shutting down. I would never have done it. Shipping to the U.S. for now. I agree that we will have bigger problems than selling on eBay, but there are many of us who heavily rely on the online sales for income.
Yep, exactly.
So if my online income is cut in half, I could be in trouble and need to figure out how to best adapt. Yeah, I mean, if that kind of stuff was happening, I think I'd just go back to work somewhere because the car factory might not be here. So I was going to say go back to Toyota, but I might
Jesus.
not be around if they were to go that route. But anyway, back in 2018 or whatever, when there were tariffs placed on Canadian steel and lumber or whatever, we always there's always going to be turmoil somewhere, but we always get past it, right? So
Yeah.
there, you just move on. You just move on. So anyway, have affected my business much. Granted, I did not start until 2019, but if there's everything, I don't know. I have been worried about this for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, the next week will know and things will be okay. And they were. And they were.
Well, they weren't. You just don't accept it yet because you haven't experienced it yet.
Dude, dude, dude.
We're gonna find out in a few
Fine.
hours.
Don doesn't even sell stuff made in China. Selling
Yeah,
car
but
parts and
there's other
ephemera.
people who do. Just
Yeah,
because
but it ain't gonna
you
affect
haven't,
me. It ain't
don't
gonna
do
affect
it.
her. I don't
Oh my
care.
God.
Chinese
Your
sellers,
world is bigger than just you, Scott.
Chinese item sellers.
Oh.
We're
Toy
we're we're.
soldiers, toy soldiers, toy soldiers. That's all you be talking about, and they're all made in China.
That's true. That is true. But I'm gonna put American Civil War
No,
soldier.
yeah, don't.
That's all I put.
I'm not
That's
sure
what I
what
put.
happens if people lie. If people lie, I
I
think you
didn't
could
lie.
get in big.
It is a
No, I'm not
complete
saying you're lying. I'm just
yeah.
saying I see the temptation there, but and I'm not even
American
saying you're
Civil War
implying that you
soldier.
would. But anywho,
Carl, let me know what you like. The S25 Plus.
yeah, it's a phone. It works. It's great.
I saw Amazon has a bunch of pre-order deals for Prime members, but I'm not in a position to buy a new phone yet.
You know
Another great
the
episode. Have a good week.
sad thing is it's a bigger phone, so it's easier on my eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably getting old.
Well, Don, thank you so much for that. And emotions are like a yo-yo in this day and age. Pretty much. Oh, things are bad. Oh, things are good. Oh, things are bad. Oh, things are okay. Oh, well, Carl's bad, but I'm okay. Okay, go ahead, Carl.
I'm gonna do one from Randy.
Okay.
Nova Scotia Celt. Hey Scott and Carl. I wasn't implying you were looking glum, Carl. I think you're getting the hang of flea market selling faster than I did. Very impressed you're upselling the coin guys customers. That's taking advantage of an opportunity. Great idea. I'm a little annoyed about losing eBay supply discount, but I don't care about the branding. In fact, I want the buyer to know the items came from me personally. I always include a packing slip with a written note on the bottom thanking them for their purchase. If it is just from eBay, then it is the same as buying from Amazon. Nothing personal, about the transaction. I want them to return to my store, especially in a niche market. Scott, you're talking about Carl covered in butter. Did I actually get the fans only podcast? Yeah, be safe, guys. Randy. Yeah, I somehow don't even remember the butter comment off the.
You have to go back and listen. It's
Yeah.
kind
I never put packing slips in or notes or anything, but I know it is powerful. Like I was watching, I can't remember who it was, but someone the other day, and they said they put a personal note in each one. It's like that wouldn't work on me, but I can see how some people would be happy to get a personal note from the seller. So it works. I'm just not willing to do it.
yeah. I don't do it. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah.
I am in Nova Scotia. This is from Brian Anderson, and I am in Nova Scotia, and I didn't want to use it either. In fact, I don't use their supplies at all. Talking about eBay.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for your comment. I like their tape. I don't mind their boxes, but I like the tape. I like to advertise that they bought something from eBay. They know what it is, but that's just my personal
Yeah, I get that.
thing.
And
So
they give you so much tape too. Like for me, it just lasts and lasts and lasts.
the tape does last
I
well.
think they might have dropped the price on the tape too. Like after I bought the 6x4x4s, I went back and looked like the tape price went down a lot. So I don't know, but like we were saying before, to me, it's not the end of the world for the level I'm at. But yeah, like Dawn saying she was losing $70, like that's $280 a year in supplies that is just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're next.
Um, for eBay from Carver Man South, for eBay sellers, I'm not sure tariffs themselves were hurt. But if Canada has to retaliate somehow and people say, I'm not buying from the USA, then Americans may say the same and that may hurt us. Yeah. We should be buying off each other. We're allies, we're friends, we business partners. I hope we get through all this.
And I wouldn't be an eBay reseller if I didn't have the US. I'll admit that straight up.
Yeah, 90% of
Yeah.
my sales, right?
So we do rely on the American like the sales to the US without question. So
yeah.
This is Carver Man again. Customs don't get every parcel. My daughter had a company and she ordered. Sometimes they would add an administrative fee plus duties, and she had to pay the postman or go to the post office to pay. They seem to get 20-30% of the packages. It's the same when you cross the border. Some agents will have wave you through even if you declare a higher amount than allowed.
Yeah, it's very random. It's yeah. Like that's like in the United States they have that thing, international shipping, where if you're an American seller, you ship it, I forget where it is. And you ship it to within the United States, and they ship it externally for you. Canadians don't like that because you have to pay tariffs for sure on those packages. So that's going on with that. So yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh wait, Carl.
What are you talking about?
Dude, there's another one here.
Did I miss one?
I wanted you to read it.
Oh, what are you talking about? I read the last one, so
Are you saying Randy's comments aren't worth reading?
Oh, Randy. Yes, Carl, caller. What is the worst that can happen? Yes. Okay, anyways, well, thank you everyone for listening.
Caller. Come on,
Randy. I thought I was going to get away with that one, but you're on top of it.
Yeah, no, I'm watching that one, and did you call her?
Yeah, she said she didn't want to do business anymore, so we never have to talk about it again.
Well, let me call her.
Okay, I'll give you a number.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give you a number. 5.
Give me her telephone number, Carl. I'm here to help you, man.
I know.
I'm here to help you, Carl.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm gonna take time out of my busy day
to
help you succeed in your first pick, like private pick.
Right. Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
It's just my caring nature. Any friends of mine,
Yeah.
I want them to move on to the next level.
Level.
No, seriously, dude, I would give her a call. Just say, hey, I hope Christmas was great. We're into the new
Mhm.
year. I didn't want to
Yeah.
bother you right away. If you still got stuff for sale, I still got stuff I want to buy.
Yeah, exactly. Power on. Business.
You know what? The thing about waiting this little period of time is she knows you're not desperate. So, you know, I don't really need these items here, but if you just want to get rid of some stuff, I'll come by and we'll see what we can do.
Uh-huh. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that.
Oh,
I feel enough guilt about all the crap I have to do.
she's everything she's probably selling was made in Canada or the US too. There's
So,
no
yeah.
Chinese.
Oh man,
You
never
know,
ending.
you're not going to find anything made in China
Oh,
there. This is a gold mine.
can you imagine trying to like eliminate everything made from China from your inventory?
Yeah, right.
Half of the stuff isn't even marked. Like, I'm still not quite sure what you do if it hasn't. Like, you don't know.
Dude, you put it made in Canada on it.
Even if it's like a German language, it's like made in Canada.
Everything that says made in China is going to get a marker, and I'm going to put Canada.
What a mess.
Like, I don't know, dude. You're too like straight and narrow. Like,
well, no, I know. Like I said, this is not me saying this.
it's what it is. Like
I read you the email. What more do you want?
Just change the China to Canada. That's it.
That's a good way to get banned.
Made in China.
I don't even know what would happen. Like if you did something like that and got caught, kids.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It was done. It was like that. It was such a good item, though. Like, what do I care? I didn't do it.
We'll never find out.
The person that had it, that I bought it from, did it. I didn't do it.
Well, that'd be weird considering it didn't even get to the person who bought it yet, because it's the border who would catch it.
No, the person I bought it from did it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I don't know.
That was done years ago.
I'm not going to worry about that yet. Let's just see how today goes, and tomorrow is all going to change anyways.
Yeah.
What a mess. So, what's your plans for the week? Anything interesting, or
I'm just going to list and sell and make sure everything that I list is made in Canada or the US, not China.
Yeah, preferably US, because then there's definitely no tariffs.
Yeah, dude, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to list. I'm just going to do my thing, and stuff will be home on Saturday. So I just got a lot of stuff I want to kind of organize, because I have to create chaos in order to bring
order to it.
Or order, right? So this place is about to turn into chaos, so I can bring in some order. But and you can't do that when she's here, because you know, she, after the fourth time she trips and falls. Then there's danger.
Right? That'd be one time only, and then I'd be in big trouble.
She hasn't done that yet, thank God. But
I get mad at myself when I trip over something down in the basement. Instant anger.
It's the stuff that I pile up on the steps that gets her a little bit.
I try to avoid the steps. I have done it, but I don't really do that unless.
But those things
are only there temporarily.
Yeah, that's it. Well, those are the things I'm ready to take to the booth tomorrow.
Exactly. That's the hard part, right? It's like, where do I put this like I had that with packaging, right?
Because you want it out of the way.
But I also want in the hallway so I don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Like if I put it somewhere weird.
That's a good one. I haven't used. I don't want to forget. I just don't want to forget about it. Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Carl. I can switch it up now.
I have 3 parcels upstairs, 1 for today and 2 for tomorrow. Wow. It's amazing how much cheaper Chit Chats is within Canada. Canada Post wanted 20 something bucks for Nova Scotia, and Chit Chats wanted like 12.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Chit Chats for $8. 2 of them are like that, actually. Thankfully, the Chit Chat stuff is not going to the United States. It's all Canadian. So at least I don't have to worry about that bit. But Yeah.
Dude, I'm not worried at all.
I know you're not worried.
I'm not
That's
worried.
fine. You live in your little bubble, all you want.
A bubble of reality.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a bubble of your reality. I completely agree with you. So my
reality is all that
yeah,
matters, right?
I know, right? I gained that impression.
Stuff doesn't like this attitude either.
No.
Oh well.
So my plan is to get like inventory ready at the booth. Because last week I brought in a whole bunch of shelving units, which I somehow installed incorrectly. I don't even know how I would do that. But I'm gonna bring in a bunch more inventory, hopefully bigger stuff too. And I'm hoping to make a work area at the booth. Because right now I'm still in an awkward spot, and get that center thing down. That's my only thing I want to get done this week is that. So
get that center thing for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm gonna just keep plugging away, man. Just keep doing my thing. I want to start making more videos, but I just been so, the problem with videos is you need the space. And when I bring those books in, they clog it all up, and then I don't have the space to do my videos. Because I'm kind of like everything's piled around me again. I get overwhelmed with that. I need space for the videos, set things out. Yeah. And then I just feel like I need to be doing this stuff and not doing videos. So I don't know, it's so stupid, but it is what it is, man. But it is.
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself too. Like you're saying, like a video a day or something. Like that's a lot of work.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I like if it was me and I was going to do things, I'd do like one video a week, and that'd be it. Because it takes a lot of time, and it's not really like you're getting money out of that, right? You're getting satisfaction, but you're not getting financial. In fact, it's costing you money, really.
What's costing me money?
If you did a video a day, all that time,
the videos. Well, when I get to my 1 million subscribers, then I'll be making money.
Well, yes, obviously. Then you can hire a team.
Then I can hire a team. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the videos will be blocked.
And you'll lose everything.
Yeah. The Americans won't be able to get her. Actually, Trudeau was planning on doing that kind of thing, wasn't he? Like blocking the material you're allowed to come in, censoring it and stuff.
I'm not going to bite.
All right. Is that it, Carl?
That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Just leave it on that positive note.
Yep.
All right. So, another great show, Carl.
Yes.
Awesome.
Always fun.
Yeah.
We solved all the world's problems. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, you seem to created a problem, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it was all me. Blame me. Blame Canada. Is that how it goes?
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying it is what it is, and I'm not worried. That's all.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. And we'll catch you next week.
All right. We are here every Friday, Spotify and YouTube, audio only.
Yep.
And all right, Carl, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone, for the comments and listening. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.